What is up, everybody, dudes and dudettes? Welcome to a very, very special edition of Talking Cleveland. First time we're actually going to do this segment. We're going to do it all year. We're going to get some big guests from Cleveland to come talk about what Cleveland is, Browns football. It's football time. It's tailgate season. So many cool things in Cleveland this time of year. It's our favorite time of the year because, again, it is football season. Very excited to have Carly Teller with us, and I think she brought a special guest along with her. We're super excited about that. But as always, we can't start off any show without the sponsors that help make this show possible by helping us promote, and they're all out of Cleveland area. First one, Cleveland whiskey. You know, the shots are always delicious. Cleveland whiskey, unique brewing, distilling experience right out of Cleveland area. Coming soon to a new area down in the Flats. Super excited about that. The Christmas bourbon just came out with the rock and roll theme. And then also Branch Barbecue out of Lakewood, Ohio. It's barbecue, it's ranch, it's delicious. Also with the Fieldhouse mustard, which was a silver award-winning sauce in the mustard contest this year. Branch is a favorite of ours for sure. And lastly, out of Willard, an Ohio veteran-owned company, Redbeard Seasonings. You know, Willard, more than just Charlie Fry, folks. We also got Brad over at Redbeard Seasoning bringing some great stuff here to us. And now, without further ado, the people that we're here to see, the person, Carly Teller, also with Wyatt. What's up? How we doing?
Thank you.
You made it to the Dude Network. Screw you, Pat McAfee. You're at the pinnacle right here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Well, whenever you reached out to me, and I responded to you, and then I looked at your page a little bit, and I was like, I think this is. I'm very flattered to talk and everything, but I'm like, all this barbecue and brisket and grilling. I showed it to Wyatt, and he was like,
"That's my kind of place.
That's really more my kind of."
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's plenty of brisket to go around. I can tell you that right now. Why? Anytime you want a big 18-pounder delivered, brother, I can get there in 90 minutes. Well, give me a day to cook it, but we can make that happen.
Yes, sir.
He would love that.
Thank
He's
you.
all about the brisket.
Yeah, I've been getting into a little bit of brisket smoking a little bit more now that we have a house here in Cleveland and have a little bit more free time in the off season. I got some briskets a little bit and
a lot.
Tried to perfect it.
During preseason or like training camp preseason time, he would literally I don't know what it's called, smoke a brisket overnight and then take it in to football just to like take it to the O-line room and be like, here guys.
Into the training staff. They like
you can't go to the offensive line meeting room without a brisket.
Yeah, I mean, they love it, but sometimes it's a little heavy, so you can't do it before practice. It has to be an after practice.
Yeah, and I'd be like, you want to take some sides, you want barbecue sauce or whatever, which I need some of that Branch you were talking about. But he's like, no, I got it. I'll just take the meat and some paper plates.
Hey, the way that I smoke it, the way that I cook it, I like to savor it.
Yeah.
So we got a pellet. You doing offset stick?
So I don't have the time to do an offset, even though I know that offset it makes great briskets, everything are great, smoked food. But I usually use a Big Green Egg charcoal grill.
Okay.
So I actually do charcoal with wood chunks, usually like an apple wood chunk. Smoke that for about pound and a half, or an hour and a half per pound, usually, and then 14 hours later. Usually I'll do it at night. I dry brine, only for like a couple hours before, just with salt and pepper, Texas salt and pepper, which is, just salt and pepper and, put it on there, usually about 14 hours later.
What's the key? What do you do after?
So you have to wrap it. I think that, when you get on a charcoal grill, all these, different grills, pellet grills have a different temperature that you wrap at, they all have different temperatures, but usually around that like 180 to 185, I'll wrap. And I wrap in or in the rendered fat, so in the tallow. So I cut up all the trimmings and I put it into a pot, make my own tallow, and then that's what I usually braise it in or finish it in after I wrap it. So
anything else? I mean, man, sign him up for the contest. Let's go.
The key to a good brisket, though, and I've learned this, is resting. That is the big difference about, people think, the cooking time, smoking it over all that time, that, it's just going to naturally have all those flavors. And it's like, if you throw it in a cooler, let it rest for, 2-3 hours, it can really make a choice brisket taste like a prime brisket.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, man. I honestly, if I can't let mine rest overnight, like I'll cook it the day before an event till like 9-10 o'clock, and I'll just put it in the oven and just let it sit there like all night, and every time bussin'.
Yeah, exactly.
What-
It's full of flavor, it's
What do you use? What kind of grill do you use?
I have an offset stick burner.
Yeah.
We do some catering down here out of the area, so I'm a purist. I'm old school. I learned the hardest way possible. So now
Yeah,
when everything else I learn, and it's funny, I got a Kamado last week. I found one on clearance, so I'm starting to play with mine. I did like a Thor's hammer shank roast on Sunday for the opener.
Oh
Yeah, it was sweet. We did like
those
2
things
racks.
get hot. I mean, they're good. They're good for grilling. They're good for smoking. They're good for everything. Whereas, sometimes a Traeger, Traegers are awesome. I love Traegers. That's what I kind of learned to smoke on, which was, I learned on the easiest. So I was the opposite. I learned on the easiest.
Well, you and I have probably had different schedules over the years. If I had to guess,
it's hard to spend 8 to 12 hours, manning a stick burner. So, you kind of got to deal with the punches. But no, Baker actually gave us a Traeger a couple years ago.
He gave the whole offensive line Traegers for Christmas.
Damn, Bake. Okay.
So I got into that,
and your first brisket you made was for him, and he's from Texas, and it's funny because he's come so far from that brisket. But when he made it for Baker, we took it to Baker and Emily, and unless they were pulling our leg, they said it was good.
It was a little fatty. Now the key to a good brisket too is presentation with trimming. So now, I remember now looking back on it, I had way too much fat on that point.
Yeah.
And probably took off too much of the flat. Where now it's the opposite. Now I'll take almost all that fat off the point and leave, a good 1/4 inch of fat on the flat. So,
Oh yeah. I just let it trimming's literally for show, because all the fat renders down anyway. When it cuts off, you can just rip it off and then detach it from the meat.
Eat that. It's good.
So funny. Well, we need so the SPG, that's Texas flavors, Wyatt. We need to switch over to, you got a new quarterback now. He's from the Carolina region. That's more of a vinegar based and a little more sweet, and you got to switch to hickory, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Carolina boys don't want no mesquite, man. They want that hickory.
I know, but if I'm doing a brisket, there's certain areas that do their thing the best, right? And I think when it comes to briskets, there's nothing that beats a Texas brisket. Just from what I believe, that I know I'll get hounded for that. I know that there's great brisket all over the country, but I'm telling you, Texas is just from what I've seen is the gold standard. But that doesn't change that. Like you have Kansas City, ribs. You have Memphis. Yeah, you have pork. You have other things that are great. You could always
do like a Carolina sauce to go with it.
Sauce, and for example, we grew up in Virginia, which is right near the Carolinas, obviously. And that's how I grew up. I grew up with a vinegar base, and I love it. That's also my favorite when it comes to pulled pork and chicken and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, when it comes to a brisket, nothing beats that Texas.
I think I got to bring up a brisket. I got to bring you up an Ohio brisket, man.
I
got to get you.
It's a half Ohio because all the meat comes from Ohio, and the cattle.
Okay.
Is amazing. Yeah. But I'm telling you,
which
Texas are great. But I think that I cook it in a Texas way with an Ohio meat. So there you go.
There we go. Look at you. Well, you're in the perfect area. Honestly, you went to Virginia Tech. And, you get to pick where you go play ball in college, right? Well, most of us do. Sometimes you only get one chance to go to one school, the only D1 offer, some, Aaron Rodgers boohoo crap whole story. But, sorry, Tony. But no, you got to go to college, but you don't get to pick your fan base. And, you got first selected 5th round to the Buffalo Bills, pretty similar to Cleveland. A long, sad fan base with a lot of heartbreak with some almost maybes, along the way. Yeah. But then you got traded. John Dorsey era come in, and he was on a complete overhaul. He obviously saw something very special in you and brought you down here to Cleveland. But now, Carly, if I understand the timeline here, because yes, I did do a little bit of research, believe it or not, first time ever. You're welcome, because that never happens. But you guys were still in that whole lovey dating, honeymoon dating phase up there. She's like, "Oh, Buffalo, how cool! I would love Buffalo. Heard they have good wings there." It's like, "Oh, sorry, babe. We're going to Cleveland." So now you end up in Cleveland, good food scene. But I wanted to talk to you and Carly too about this of what's it like when, especially, because that was your rookie year, right? Or is that second year?
Second year.
Second
I
year.
spent my whole rookie year in Buffalo, and then that was about 18 months I spent in Buffalo.
So what's that like, just finally getting settled in? You think you're on a rookie contract for at least 3 years, and then you're like, "Oh man, I just got traded to Cleveland." And then you're like, walk us through what that's like in that 24, 48-hour window.
Yeah, obviously when you get drafted to a place, you think that you're going to spend 10 years there, be a hometown hero and, retire into the sunset. But that very rarely ever happens. There's, 1, 2, 3 guys on a team that do that, in a decade, let alone, or in a franchise. But,
it all happened really quick.
It all happened really quick. I mean, it was one of those things. It was like, I started 7 games. Richie Incognito and Eric Wood were there before me, and they were, great players, all Pro Bowl guys, who, one retired and the other one medically retired within the same year that I was coming in. So it was big shoes to fill, to say the least. And obviously I wish I played better, but they must have thought that I still had worth in the market. John Dorsey saw something that he liked, which was amazing. I'm thankful for him that I came here, because when I was in Buffalo, I love the place and I love the fans, and they're crazy, jumping through tables and everything like that. Very loyal fan base. And then I come to Cleveland, where it's more the same. It's a crazy fan base. We haven't had the success that they have had as of late, right? Obviously, Buffalo has been doing fantastic things the past 6 years. So hopefully once we start winning more games, we can kind of show our fan base off a little bit more, and show the loyalty that is in our blue collar city. So I love it.
Carly, what was it like for you on your end? How much time did you have to get everything put together? And a question I've always had is, when the NFL team trades you, did Buffalo do any arrangements to help you, or did Cleveland take responsibility for making any arrangements, or did anybody make any arrangements at all, or is it all on you?
So
I mean, they'd give you numbers and stuff, I guess. But.
Yeah. So it's totally different because I've talked to multiple girls who have done moves. It's different with every different team, and kind of like your status and all that type of thing. So we were like newly dating, and I was living in Virginia working back home, and he got traded again. We were like, we were pretty new, and I was just like crazy about him. And he got traded, and he said, you could tell he was all, stressed out about it. And he said, "Okay, can you help me find somewhere to live?"
I had to learn a playbook.
And I'm like a doer, and I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, I really like this guy. I got to help him find somewhere to live. So I just started calling. I mean, I had basically no resources. Nobody gave a shit that I was Wyatt's kind of girlfriend, right? So I I'll never forget. I called the Browns front office and asked them if they where do the guys live in Cleveland? And they probably thought that I was they were like, who is this person? Right. Now I know everybody. And so I asked where they live. They gave me some ideas. Basically, I ended up finding somewhere for him. I flew up because I was going to go to the preseason game. And then it happened within 24 hours. It's like you got traded, and then we actually Eric Cush, who was a player who was in Cleveland at the time that Wyatt knew, loaned him. It wasn't all rainbows and sunshine.
Well, I was telling him,
loaned him a trailer.
Yeah, I was like, hey, you don't have to get a U-Haul and take my truck and just pile stuff in. And he was like, hey, I have a 24-foot enclosed trailer if you want it. And I was like, not want it, but if you want to borrow it. And I was like, yes, please. So we threw everything. I threw everything in the back of that and brought it over. It's only 2.5 hours.
Yeah, we were like shocked. Neither of us knew anything about Cleveland, Ohio. I don't even know if I'd ever been to the state of Ohio, maybe. And
my granddad lived in Columbus. I've been to Ohio.
So Wyatt had been, but I had not.
And he was actually born in Cleveland, so I have Cleveland ties.
So we were
go.
both shocked, though. Apparently, we didn't understand geography, but when we found out that it was less than 3 hours to drive from Buffalo, New York to Cleveland, Ohio, we were like, okay, well, that's nice. Like, it's just all along the same lake.
Yep.
And so, yeah, we packed him up and moved him.
Lake Erie's huge. You don't even realize it.
Yeah.
You
that was the biggest shock.
Yeah. I was like, Great Lakes are massive lakes. Obviously, anybody who grew up around here obviously knows that. But being from Virginia, we have the coast right there, and we think that that's big. Because you'll look out or you'll go to the, beach and you'll be like, oh, that's far. It's the same thing if you go to the beach around here. You're like, you can't see the other side. To you, that's
yeah.
And
you go out there on a choppy day and boogie board if you want to.
Yeah,
right.
Get some real waves. I've seen people actually surfing out there, so it's real.
So yeah, the transition was like I wanted to make it as easy for him as possible because again, I'm like a doer. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna whatever he needs, I'm gonna help him. So I probably did make it a little easier. I like to think.
100%.
But no,
look at her being modest, Wyatt. So modest. I think I helped a little bit.
She was a godsend during all that time because it was definitely stressful. You're worried about a lot of different things. You're getting there, you don't know anybody. I mean, or a handful of people. Like I said, I knew Eric Cush prior to first coming here, but in passing, not super well. And you'll know a couple guys, but actually coming in and it's a little scary. So you're worried about a lot of different things, and to have someone by your side to I know that a lot of guys don't, and it sucks, but she really helped me.
And like he was asking, we really didn't have a lot of resources or help. So, but anyway, it all worked out.
If I knew the right people to talk to, because we do have people to talk to.
Now I know all the people.
Yeah, with the team. It's just like when you first get into the team, I feel like they might have said something, but again, so much information is coming at you. You're like, wait, who did they tell me to talk to?
He has to learn a playbook. I mean, he literally, they had a game.
That was like a whole new regime. So it was like all scratch. I mean, it was like they didn't even probably know what's going to happen yet.
Exactly. Most of the NFL, it's the same plays, just different wording. So I just kind of had to understand the wording, but still, I mean, to play fast, to play well, you have to know what to do, like the back of your hand, so you don't think twice. That's how you play well. That's how you play fast. So,
but it all worked out, and we made it work.
And here we are.
Here we are on the Dude Network, reaching the highlight of your career. I mean, here we are. The signing bonuses, the Dude Network is where it's at. I mean, that's facts. So you've come to Cleveland. I love Cleveland. I travel for my job, and I'm in Cleveland all the time, and I've got to try some amazing restaurants. And what a lot of people don't realize is like Cleveland during like the mass immigration days was like, with it being up there on the lake, it's not terribly far from New York. Like a lot of different cultures settled in Cleveland, anywhere from like Ukrainian to like real Italianos to like Guatemalan, Mexican. Like there's little China up there, Chinatown. Like any kind of food, like you can possibly think of. Polish, like a lot of brats and dogs,
right?
Like pierogies and paninis. Like that's Cleveland. Have you enjoyed the Cleveland scene, and have you found a certain niche that you seem to like? Is it the Italian food up there? Is a little bit of everything? Well versed? Where are we at?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of ashamed to say this. Everyone loves Little Italy, and we've never been.
Yeah.
So but everyone loves it, and like I remember Baker and Emily used to always go to this one. It's like the oldest restaurant in Cleveland or something, the oldest Italian restaurant. Anyway, I'm not giving a very good example, so sorry to whoever.
No, you're good. But, I probably have heard it because there's always everything's historic in Cleveland. Like historic this, historic that.
We ventured downtown some. We like a lot of kind of local privately owned places. We've got a couple of really good steak places that we like. Wyatt's a big, meat and potatoes, as I'm sure you figured out. There was this place that we loved called it's only 20 minutes away, but it's called Gibbs Butchers and Brews, right? Yeah. And they have their own butcher, and that place is awesome. It's like a hidden gem.
Yeah, and it was funny by the time we realized it, because when we first moved here,
We
were
didn't really
staying
know
in
about
Olmsted
it.
Falls, and it was right up the road, and we saw it a bunch of times because it's in, historic Olmsted Falls,
Which is right
everything
next to,
looks
it's Berea. It's basically Berea. Right
Berea, right? But yeah, no. So it was right by the falls, so it was beautiful. But it was one of those places that we were like, we should stop there and try it. And we were
And
like, oh
it's
my
so
gosh, this
good.
place is
Like
amazing.
everything is homemade, and just like if you're into like I like to eat meat, but like Wyatt's into trying a lot of different meats. It's really cool. So we really like Gibbs. And then there's a steakhouse so we live on the west side of Cleveland. There's a steakhouse in Avon that's called Strip Steakhouse, and we love it.
Okay.
Yep.
Again,
that's beautiful up there. I mean, that's a real nice town.
Yeah. It is nice, and it's not too far from us. We do a lot of like date nights there. We'll take, like, when Wyatt signed his contract, we went there and that kind of stuff. But it's we love it because not only is the food amazing and the people are great, but it is in this beautiful like artsy barn, and the barn was brought up from Virginia and obviously redone and placed there.
Yeah,
but it's from Virginia.
How cool is that?
It was
erected from Virginia all the way up here in Cleveland like that.
It was cool. So yeah, it's our little Virginia tie, and I don't even think the owner, he meant to do that, or he's from Virginia.
It just happens to be from there.
It just happens to be from there, and we were like, wow,
your eBay. Oh, this is in Virginia.
Yeah, exactly. But
but
no, the food's awesome.
So we
Great cuts of steak. But yeah, there's a lot of good places.
I know. I feel bad. We sound like we're just like all American. Like,
but that's all we eat. But no, I mean, we do.
No good party starts with a salad. That's a fact.
Yes. Well, we've been to Ohio City. We've been over to East Side. Been to Sugar, and kind of seeing some places around there that are a little bit further away from our comfort zone, or 10 minutes, 20 minutes away from our house.
We had really good sushi last night with the team.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, man. Speaking of, it's funny.
Taste of Cleveland.
Yeah. So we literally went to an event last night that Joel Batonio was part of. It was a fundraiser called a Taste of the Browns, right?
Taste of Cleveland or Taste of the Browns.
Cleveland, Taste of the Browns. So it was at First Energy Stadium. It was packed, and it's a fundraiser for the food bank, and it was so cool. It was like, I wish I had like a list of the restaurants so I could talk about them.
Oh, there's so many.
We tried so many. So basically it was like all these booths set up, and all of these different varieties of food, all these restaurants from the Cleveland area, like you got to taste like basically they're like
small plates,
their specialty.
That's
food.
Awesome.
So that was cool. I mean,
that's me. When I go to a buffet, I don't get one mat of like, oh, that's a brisket. I ain't going to get just brisket. If there's like 30 covered dishes, my goal is to eat all 30.
All 30, yeah.
All
a little
30.
bit of all of it, yeah.
One sitting, bring it on, meat-sized mountain. Like, let's do this thing. Like one sitting, stretchy pants.
Did you see the thing that the Browns did where they asked all the guys during training camp or mini camp or something? And they said, what's the must-have side at a cookout? Did you see that video?
I think there were so many of those. Like the social media teams do such a good job of getting them out there. I remember seeing this, but I couldn't tell you anybody's answers.
Why it's well, yours was of course like some sort of meat or ribs or something.
Well, probably mac and cheese side.
No, mac and cheese was the biggest side. Everyone said it was just funny. You should go back and look at it. What would you say is the most?
Yeah, it was like backyard barbecue, right? Like a barbecue side. Yeah.
What would you say is the must-have?
Mine?
Side?
Oh man, my smoked Southwest mac and cheese is.
Yeah,
I want that.
Yeah.
I just made it on Sunday. If you go back and look at the reel where it was called the Crown of Thor, and I went big because I had big expectations for you boys this year. I had all the boys over. I got the shank roast, and it shrank down to look like Thor's hammer. I did 2 racks of baby backs around it, and then I stuffed it with mac and cheese, and it's called the Crown of Thor because it's like Thor's hammer. You pull out of the middle and like victory. Yeah, Southwest. I'll give you this recipe. It's super easy. It's literally just 2 boxes of mac, a half a stick of government cheese, 2 bags of cheddar, 1 can black beans, 2 cans Rotel. And then just put your milk in there till it gets creamy or cream, and then just melt it and just throw it in the smoker, and then just keep stirring it every 5 minutes to get that nice smoke hit to it, and then you're good to go.
Wow.
Yum. Okay,
if you want to get real crazy, shred some of your pulled pork and throw it in there too, then drizzle some barbecue sauce on top. Just saying.
Wow. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Welcome to this is what we do. Yeah. We just sit around on Friday nights and think about things that we can make that are way out of control, and that's normally where we end up.
I love it. Well, it sounds amazing. You guys
Yeah,
are doing
that
great
sounds
things.
great.
Hey, you guys are amazing. I got to ask one question though. How many beers were drank on that flight home Sunday? That's what I want.
What's funny is they didn't even have, airplane bottles. They didn't have drinks on the plane, which sucks. But no, we
Was that designed? They just wanted you guys like, listen, we don't need any loose lips after that one. No alcohol, boys.
Well, no, it's just it's the way it's set up.
Did you do
obviously
a shot? Did you take a shot?
it's a
after the
business
game?
trip. The way we view it is it's a business trip.
Did you take a
Obviously we're
shot?
very happy. No, you can't because there's no alcohol in the locker rooms and stuff like that.
Oh, I always thought y'all would have done that. Taking a shot for a win.
Yeah, no, there's certain rules that stop you from drinking right after. One, I mean, you're about to go talk to media, so you shouldn't be too tipsy for that. Two, it's the first game of the season. It's not the Super Bowl. I bet you if it was a Super Bowl, there would be champagne all over and vodka and whiskey and everything you could want.
We did a victory
Rules
Monday.
are meant to be broken in that moment, by the way.
Yes, that's the Super Bowl. That's kind of like once that game ends and that fourth quarter ends, your season is over. So you are now allowed to drink in the locker rooms, everything like that. But no, it's the first game of the season. There's some professionalism to it. Obviously, there's guys who might smuggle something, but for the most part, there's no drinking.
Right. And that's locker room talk. We will not talk about locker room talk. There's what happens in the locker room stays in the locker room.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't.
Yeah,
you can't stop someone who has like a backpack cooler, and they,
Listen, you don't got Juju in your locker room running TikTok, so you're good.
No, so we're good. No one will find out anything.
Oh man, I'm saying the offensive line could have a TikTok, and you guys could do some serious cool shuffles and make them things go viral, man.
I know Brock's
that.
our TikTok guy. Apparently, he has like a 60,000. Brock Hoffman, our rookie, he has like a 60,000 person following on TikTok.
I'm trying to catch up.
Yeah, you're on your way, Carly. You're looking good. You're looking good. You're due in December. I'm so excited. I am a guy that just Wyatt for you too, man. Because I have a 4 and 3-year-old. My life changed to the absolute best. Like I wish everybody what I have in the joy of parenting. So, is there a name? Do we have the name? I know it's a boy. Is there a name, and is it secret?
There is. We haven't
really gone public.
It.
Yeah, public yet. I guess that's Carly's Instagram post job, but.
It's a boy, and it's the name that we're going to use is a family name on my side. It's like a last name, and it starts with a B, and his middle name will be Wyatt. So that's all we'll say.
So there will be a Wyatt Teller coming back around, but
okay.
I offered
it's not going to be Bray. It's not going to be like the wrestler Bray Wyatt.
No, not Bray Wyatt, which is
We're
actually
not doing Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
I offered to do Junior. I was like, if you want to do.
He's a psycho, so I don't know. I mean, he's not a psycho, but you know what I mean. That's how he acts on WWE. I don't know about Bray Wyatt, but it would be.
But
it would be interesting in the house if it ended up being like that. I'm just saying, prepare for that kind of stuff because there's a lot of how did that get there and why is it white that happens in this house a lot.
There you go.
Like, is that red dye? Like, how is that? Oh, that's on the ceiling.
How did it get up there?
Yeah. So life's about to get serious. But so I was saying Dude Wyatt would be really nice. Like, hey, dude.
Yeah, Dude Wyatt.
Like, dude. Like, he's going to have a nickname. And think about it. Now at Virginia Tech, defensive end, Dude Wyatt.
That could be his nickname. We could start that.
We could do it. We're making it happen. We're gonna get him like a Dude Network onesie. I'm telling you.
All right.
So my daughter's birthday is the 18th. So I'm selfishly hoping yours comes in. Little B Wyatt Teller comes in about 5 days early. That'd be awesome.
Yes, sir.
Well, that would be ideal because we are due on a game day, and so Christmas Eve is a game day, and I would love to have him the week before. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm going to tell you now, push for it.
Yeah.
Because doctors don't want to, we were in the same boat and they definitely don't want to do it on holiday. So if they can get it in before holiday, they want as much off the books before Christmas. So you might be able to push for it.
Oh yeah.
There you go. We've learned that because we found out our doctor was like, yeah, I don't want to do this on Christmas. Like, you're ready. Like, let's just do it. Right?
When was she due?
We were 3 weeks early. So like January, 10th or something. Both our kids were 3 weeks early. It was really weird.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, ideally, I would have him on a Monday or Tuesday because Tuesdays are off days, and I'd like Wyatt
to be there at least.
Not that they wouldn't
Hypothetical.
let him leave practice, but a
Yeah,
game
I mean,
is a
I
little
would be
different.
there, but
Yeah, it's like, what about third quarter? She's in labor. You find out on the sideline. You're up by like 3 scores.
He can stay.
yeah. Well, I also feel like it's one of those things. It's like, you know, as much as I want to be there as the baby's coming out, you know, I also feel like you're going to be in good hands.
We'll know a lot
hopefully
more.
I don't have to stress about that.
We'll know a lot more in a couple months. We got to, see how big he
Obviously,
is.
I want to do my job and finish what I have to do. And, you know, I signed up for it, so I have to, finish it. But hopefully we're not in that situation where I have to,
I'm going to be at a hospital.
Sprint over, finish the game and sprint over and, hopefully be
But
there in
ESPN reporters would love that.
Oh, no. They would never stir the
Can you
pot.
imagine? It'd be great TV.
It would be great. Oh yeah, it would be great. Like Wyatt's like running like a runaway milk truck down the hallway. Like, so everything's been good in Cleveland. You guys are all settled in. Now that you've signed that contract and you like on paper you're supposed to be here for a few more years, are you finally like kind of feeling like, okay, like Cleveland's words, let's start expanding out. Let's start trying new things now that we know we got some roots here and we're not going anywhere. I know you've been doing a lot of philanthropy work with like last year, did a bunch of wish lists. We were talking about that. You do a lot of stuff for education. A lot of players end up doing a lot of things for the community. Is that where you guys feel that you're going to be your specialty is in the Cleveland community is like school support, literacy programs, like schools that need help, supplies? Is that where you're going to focus or is it going to be a little more spread out and thin?
So we're definitely passionate about education. Both of our moms are retired educators.
Okay.
And so I think that it's just kind of like near to both of our hearts. And, we grew up around just that life. So, we try to always give back to like the youth and to education, that type of thing. We just started a partnership with Elk and Elk, which is a law firm in Cleveland. And we're raising money for St. Augustine, like Feed the Hunger.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So they are donating on our behalf $77 per point scored by the Browns, and $770 for every game where Wyatt has a pancake block.
So would they owe like 10 grand? I saw you throwing number 95 around like you stole your little sister's lunch money on Sunday.
He's a really good player. I must have tripped him up on something, but he got moved a little bit. But there was also times where he moved us, so it's a definitely good.
We're not here to talk about that, man. We're not.
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully you guys don't miss the other plays where he pushed me around, but the plays where I pushed him around, yeah.
This is Browns, baby. Hey, we got the dub. You tossed him around like a hacky sack.
That's right. No, there was a good defense, so I'm happy we got that win. But that's aside. But kind of getting pancake blocks. They're working with me, so I think it was how much money was it? Just under 3,000.
They posted the total. It was right under 3,000 for the first game. So
that's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
But they were going to be funny. They said we'll do $770.
Yeah, they said
for each pancake block, and I was like, well, I usually get like 7 to 10 pancake blocks, and they were like, oh, yeah, okay, so we'll do 770 per game. You have a pancake block.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, there you go. That would be a little bit smarter.
Yeah. You didn't want to cut into their advertising campaign for the Guardians game.
Take it all. You know what I mean? I want them to actually get the baseball and basketball team.
But that's awesome though. And there's so many companies like that in Cleveland, right? That'd be right there beside you to help out. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Well, and actually, speaking of a couple of companies, I said I had a little surprise for you, and it's an offer that's open to both of you. I personally have met multiple people today alone that have received your generosity and stuff like that. And myself, the Dude Network, along with Branch Barbecue and Redbeard Seasonings, we have decided all team together. And if there's ever an event where you need food or some good barbecue, we would like to donate that to you and come up there and cook it for you.
Wow.
So that way you can use that to generate some funds for your programs that you wish to donate to. And we'll set it up to whatever foundation or anything you've been working with. We would love to show the love of Cleveland and helping out our community like you guys do as well. So that is our offer to you. I've talked to them.
Awesome.
They are all in. So you just let us
Yeah.
know when you need us and give us enough notice, and and as long as it's not for like 10,000 people or a mass amount, we can make it happen. But yeah, man, maybe we can even get you down there and show you how we do Ohio briskets, dude. Like,
I would love it. I would love it.
Thank you so much.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Generous.
That's awesome.
No, honestly, and it's a genuine offer. It's not, it's out there. Even if it's not, it's after this, obviously after the season when everything calms down, when you have the time for that stuff, and you'll have a little baby boy that you'll be at the. Just think next time you do these events, you'll have a kid.
Baby brisket. What if that was his name?
Brisket.
I'm telling you now, baby brisket will get a lot of Dude Network swag for life if they're
Brisket Wyatt. Brisket Wyatt Teller. There you go.
Or baby back.
Baby back. There
Barbecue.
you go. Barbecue Wyatt.
What else starts with a B?
There you go. That sounds good.
Smoky.
Yeah.
That one might be frowned upon. That one we might be crossing. That one might be.
That'd be good for a dog.
I don't think. I think people would take it as a different way of smoking compared to like barbecue.
Yeah.
No, can't. Hey, home of bad ideas too. We are the home of bad ideas. Not all the winners. Not everyone. Not every plays a triple option, Hail Mary. Hook and ladder. Sometimes.
That's right.
Well, I tell you what, I have taken up way too much of your time. We are so happy that you were able to join us, and you are always welcome here. Wyatt, thanks for joining Carly. Wasn't expected. Nice surprise, but you guys show that you are the power couple that everybody perceives you to be, and you are both awesome. And tell you what, on behalf of the Browns fans I know, we're happy to have both of you here, and we're happy to watch you. A lot of excitement this year. It was a long off season, and I think everybody got off to. I think everyone had 8 million pounds lifted off their shoulders. I couldn't imagine what that felt like for you guys in the locker room with the long off season you had. But good luck the rest of the season, and let us know what you need from us. Keep in touch, and go Browns, baby.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you so much.
All right, dudes and dudettes, Carly and Wyatt Teller.